question.
She said, who's the biggest bitch?
Who's the biggest?
She acts like a bitch when you ask her something like, oh.
How rich does he have to be?
He doesn't have to be Elon Musk rich. I think that's tiring, to be sincere.
I don't know where she's going to get that man from.
Family, I have family too. I have children that look up to me. You don't sit down there and tell me you want to slap me. I would kill for my daughter.
Hello beauties, welcome back to my channel. As promised, today we will be reviewing the episode 2 and 3 of the Real Housewives of Lagos reality show. And as you saw from the intro, there was drama, there was slapping, and above all, there was buzz. I really liked episode 3. However, before we get into the video, if there is any show or reality show or movie that you want me to react to or review, you can comment down below. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So episode 2 started with Chioma inviting Caroline to her place for a yoga session. You can see that Chioma really liked Caroline from the first time they met. During the session, I realized that Caroline is very funny as a person. Like touch your toe poses, and the girl was all over the place, falling down. Like she herself said,
Hold your toes.
I'm a bit rusty.
1, 2, ready, go.
Are you okay?
I'll put my hair. Oh my god. I need oil, engine oil.
after their session, they sat down, spoke about things they like at the gym, things they didn't like at the gym. Then Auntie, I don't like gossip, went to bring Laura into the conversation. She asked Caroline what she thought of Laura. And Caroline was like, maybe Laura wasn't really out of her shell because she didn't really know them, that is why. But Chioma was like, it could be that she was shy or she was pretending, because the Laura they know on IG is very bubbly and like active and very outgoing. The next scene was Laura visiting Toyin at her fashion house. During their conversation, Toyin asked Laura why she was moody during the luncheon, and Laura was like, oh, she was okay, it was nothing. But Toyin kept pressing and pressing her. So Laura opened up and she was like, she wasn't feeling the crowd. Like none of the girls there were her friends, and she just wasn't feeling the vibe with them. That was why she was moody. So Toyin used that opportunity to ask Laura to come for Iyabo's beach house get together. But Laura was like, no, she wouldn't go. 1, Iyabo is not her friend. 2, she's aquaphobic. And 3, according to her, majority of the people there or who are going are not her friends, and she doesn't like their vibe, so she wouldn't be going. Toyin tried to blackmail her emotionally by saying she would be lonely and all that. So Laura decided that she would think about it. Iyabo, on the other hand, was busy preparing for the beach house get together, as well as having family time with her daughter. And during that family time, I realized that her daughter Priscilla will be 21 very soon, and they were talking about her birthday party, her business. Says like she has a business. Like, come on, if you are born in money, it doesn't keep long, then you grow. If you are born in money, it doesn't keep long, then you grow. And also, they also spoke about her getting married. This was when I realized that almost all the girls are very close to their children, especially their daughters. And they are open with their daughters, because she asked about her relationship and asked her if the goal she had of marrying at the age of like, I think 22 will be fulfilled. And Priscilla was like, let's move it back small. And Iyabo said, even though they are moving it back, but by the age of 24.5, she must get married. She's not crossing 25. Like, you can see, the vibe between them and their children is really, really there. So the D-Day came and it was time for the beach house get together. And let me tell you, Iyabo is a good host. Like, when it comes to hosting, like, top tier. Because she didn't want all the girls to come in their own car to, I think, the place that they were going to board the boat. So she ordered them a party bus. And let me tell you, like, the party bus inside was Iyabo knows how to organize events. Like, she's a good organizer. Laura called Toyin to come to her house so that they will board the party bus, then go around and pick the other ladies. During their ride to pick up the other ladies, Toyin called Laura, and Laura was like,
Nobody contacted me.
You're a liar.
One O.
Who cares?
If you won't go, just saw them say you are busy. And they went to pick up the other girls and went to the place where they'll go and pick the boat to the beach house, and it was fun. You watched it.
I don't know where the breeze is from, but there's something blowing our hair. Some kind of air. Maybe it's the Holy Spirit.
The prince bought the champagne inside Chioma and I mean, oh my god!
The beach house is very, very nice. Like, Iyabo outdid herself. You could see that, like, she really put effort into hosting these ladies. After the girls have gotten their room, everybody went inside, they rested. That evening, she planned a dinner for the girls. And everybody came well dressed. It was the host first. As you know, Iyabo is never late. Like, she's always early whenever she's hosting or she's partly hosting. It was followed by Chioma. And let me tell you, the girl was glittering when she came. That was followed by Tony, and the pink was dazzling. And all then sexy Carol came. Like, Caroline is always looking sexy, and with her endowment is over the moon. So whilst waiting for their food, they were asking themselves questions, and Iyabo asked what was the worst thing that has been said about them on the internet, especially Instagram. And Caroline was like, the worst thing that has been said about her is when people say she married her husband for money. Truth to be told, she didn't know how rich her husband was. And you could see that everybody was like, girl, are you serious? Like,
Best thing ever is to say that I got married for money when I actually didn't even know this man's worth.
I think I need to transform this dress. I can't deal.
everybody was looking at her like, we don't believe you. It's a lie. Even personally, I'm not a Nigerian. So after this episode, I went to Google her ex-husband. And I was like, girl, you can't tell me that. Like, you can't tell me that. Caroline asked what they want in their men. And Chioma was the one who answered first. She wanted a God-fearing man, a man who respects her, and all those things. Then Caroline also added her 2 cents. And so he was like, all that you want in your man is a man that is rich. And she was like, oh, for the truth, she wants a man that is rich. Watch this.
How rich does he have to be?
He doesn't have to be Elon Musk rich. I think that's tiring, to be sincere. I don't mind a Kanye West rich.
I don't know where she's going to get that man from.
Like, please, where can she find that kind of man? We have to help Auntie Caro now. A man who is not Elon Musk rich, but Kanye West rich. We beg, why? We need to help her. Let's sign a petition and start helping her, because it's serious. So after they had dinner and they moved to Chiome's room to go and relax for the evening, where they swam in the pool outside Chiome's room. Hey, Iyabo almost drowned though. But like, it was fun throughout, and the girls went to bed. The next day, Iyabo organized a brunch for the ladies. It was okay, nothing spectacular happened. They sat, they ate, they talked, and this was when Laura came up. And the person who went to bring Laura was Chioma. She was the one who went to bring Laura. She was like, what is she doing? And so he was like, Laura is busy and everything. But before they started the brunch, they said Chioma should pray. That is prayer before meals. Prayer before meals. Auntie was praying that no drama should happen. Most of the time, I said those who are troublesome, they are the ones who will be hinting at these things. So nobody was talking about drama. So why was she talking about drama? Let me keep quiet. So after the brunch, Iyabo organized for a dancer to come and teach them some dance moves. They danced, they enjoyed. After their dance session, they started playing a game. The game, beginning of the game, I was like, la la su la la. This game led to the basketballs that will be happening. So the game, it was like one person will whisper a question to another person, and the other person will have to mention the name of the person who acts like that. And Chioma was like, as the name has to be only those around, and they were like everybody. And Caroline even made a statement that, oh, Laura wouldn't be here and she'll be catching straight bullets, and they laughed about it. But Toyin wasn't having it. She really wasn't liking the game because she felt as if the game was too much. And later, Chioma also confirmed, because the game started out as nothing like serious, but as it was getting to the end, like certain things were coming out which was unfair. So from this game, this is their perception about some of them. From what I can see, Caroline was seen as a bitch, so she's the bitchy one of the group. Chioma was seen as the person likely to be a stripper, and everything from there started hindering as Laura. So I think Toyin got like, was over it. So one part she mentioned Iyabo's name, then Caroline was like, no, this is Laura. Like, Toyin wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. She wasn't a fan of the game before it began, and right now she wasn't really feeling the game. Especially this question where they asked which among them thinks is smart but in reality is not, and they pointed at Laura, which I think the question itself I think is harsh, and they answering Laura, I think that was very insensitive. Like, because one, she's not there to defend herself or talk about it. Like, I didn't even see why they had to include her in the game in the first place, because come on, the person is not there. If you want to play your game, play it among yourself. So this was what really happened in episode 2. So 3 began with Iyabo inviting Laura to a spa session. I think they had come back from the get together, and you could see that Iyabo was ready to give it to Laura. So when Laura came and they were talking, and Iyabo asked Laura why she didn't come, Laura opened up to Iyabo. Like, she was like, here is it. First, majority of the people there, she doesn't vibe with them. She doesn't vibe with Caroline. And the game that they played, all that they said over there about her, she has heard everything and she didn't like it. Because one, she wasn't there, so she didn't see why she should be involved in it. But she accepts her mistake of not calling Iyabo to apologize. So she apologized there and there. You could see that Iyabo was not having it, because she was like, she feels bad vibes from Laura and all that. Like, the girl has apologized. What again do you want? After all, when Laura was like she couldn't come, you were like, whatever. So I don't see why Raidi, like, you are trying to like corner her. So Laura hinted that she didn't like being brought up in the game and told her everything. She was like, she doesn't vibe with Caroline, and if she was there, Caroline wouldn't have made such statements, because if she had, she would have slapped Caroline. This was what Laura said to Iyabo. And their session ended. Chioma called Iyabo to invite her for a jog the next morning. During Chioma and Iyabo's jog, Iyabo brought up the topic that she met Laura and like they've spoken and she understand her. And sister went to tell Chioma everything Laura told her verbatim, like including the slap. Like, you are matured. Sometimes some people tell you something, when you are telling another person, you have to edit it. You see, you have to remove certain things that will bring tension, because it could be in like in the heat of the moment that she said that, because she was angry that they brought her in the game and Caroline said what she didn't have to say and all those things. But like, she went and told Chioma back. So I thought, why? Because when Laura was telling her everything, Laura was like, I didn't want to open up to you. I just came just to apologize. So it was like Laura was opening up to Iyabo. So I didn't see why Iyabo had to go and tell Chioma.
In reply,
Chioma said something. I was like, oh, go girl, she's matured enough. She was like, and this was the vibe they were trying to avoid. So I was like, that's it. Then she's not going to kill Caroline. But boy, I was wrong. But when they meet, she will go and spill. Like, you can see that they all act matured, but they are not matured. Like, they are trying to seem like they are peace loving, but you can see that they love drama. Like, they want to see drama happen. They want to see fights happen. So whilst Chioma and Iyabo were jogging, having their jogging section and conversation, Caroline was planning a bohemian party for the girls. Like, she went, got a restaurant, planned everything, and sent invitations to the girls. So the D-Day came, and let me tell you, like, Caroline too knows how to throw theme parties. Everything was on theme, and like the place looked nice, and she was dressed like a sexy bohemian at the beach. Like, I tell you, the girl likes to dress sexy. The first person to arrive was Iyabo, and Iyabo was looking nice. Like, nice, as you can see, she was looking really nice with her hair. Even Caroline complimented her and showed her the place she was supposed to sit. So the next person to arrive was Laura. Laura came, greeted everybody, and this was where I realized that Iyabo likes drama. So her going to tell Chioma what Laura told her, I was like, oh, I'm no more surprised. Because she will look at Laura, she will look at Caroline and how they are vibing. Their eyes, it's like she's expecting like some reaction out of Laura right now that she has met Caroline. But I think Laura was like, that's why I feel like what she said was in the heat of the moment, because she was angry. Because right, I felt like she was all cool, all calm, and like they were talking and they were vibing. Then Chioma arrived. When Chioma arrived, she was giving Laura attitude. She has a right because she's Caroline's friend, and you are like, you will slap her, but you are at her party. So then Toyi came, and she was looking all ghetto bohemian, like seriously. But like everybody was well dressed, like they were all looking superb. So they sat down, they started talking, and Laura brought up how she didn't like being included in the game at the beach house, and she didn't like what Caroline said about her or behind her back. And whilst all this were going on, Chioma brought in the slap, and Laura paused the talking she was talking to Caroline and focused on Iyabo and was like, I told you something confidential. If you wanted to tell somebody, you could have edited. And Iyabo was like, hey, pause, I don't owe you any loyalty, sister, you can't come and stress me. But I like how Toyin stayed out of it, and she was like, they are all learning their lessons and how to relate with each other. Because as it has happened, Laura now knows that she can't trust Iyabo, so she wouldn't come and tell Iyabo anything. But Iyabo also defended herself and was like, if Laura had told her that she shouldn't tell anybody, she wouldn't have told anybody. But since she didn't tell her, she felt she had the right to go and tell Chioma. And Laura also was like, even if she wanted to tell somebody, there was no need for her to tell Chioma. Caroline was the best person she should have spoken to, because Caroline was the one she spoke about, and Caroline is the one that she said she would slap. So why did she go and tell Chioma? And I feel like Laura was also right, because I spoke about Caroline. Why must you go and tell Chioma? I didn't bring up Chioma. Then Caroline was like, okay, tell me the problem that you have with me, Laura. Then this was where I realized that the hatred or the tension between Laura and Caroline, it wasn't something that happened on the set. It was something that happened on the internet. Because Laura was like, she didn't like Caroline attacking her sister, who is a blogger, Linda, on the internet. And Laura was like, she stands for family, she stands with her sister, and she wouldn't like she doesn't like Caroline attacking her sister. And Caroline was like, okay, you've spoken your session, wait and let me speak mine. And Laura was like, if you're coming to speak about my sister, then do not talk. I think that was what got Caroline angry, because she felt like, I've given you the chance to speak, now it's time for me to speak, but you don't want to hear me speak. Why? So Caroline was like,
part of the reasons why my marriage broke was because of Linda. I reached out to her. She did not care. Lied about my age. I reached out to her. Linda wrote that my daughter was for another man. I reached out to her. She did not care. And you sit down here to defend your family? I have family too. Respect your sister so much. And I don't fucking understand why she hates me. So when you sit down there to say you want to slap me, I would kill for my daughter.
In some way, I think Caroline was right. Like, sometimes bloggers, I think they need to keep certain things away from like people's children. Like, the children are not involved in the decisions their parents make. Like, leave them out. However, saying it's because of a blogger that your marriage broke, like, sister, please, like, then it means your marriage's foundation was very, very weak. If it's because of a blogger your marriage break, oh God, like, I sympathize with her, but for that statement I don't believe it. Like, I feel there is more to the story and it's not clear. But you know, after listening to Caroline, Laura apologized to her and was like she would talk to her sister to take it down. You could see that Caroline wasn't having it because she was like,
You're not a drama queen. You just pretend on Instagram to dance, but you're very chaotic. And you lack empathy. Seriously speaking, she showed no remorse.
and this was where it ended. But from the sneak peek that showed, it means that Bohemian Party is going to get boogaga. Because Chioma said something and all you can hear is
Fuck you, Choma. Hey, God, this rap.
the next episode is going to be nice. So that was all for episode 2 and 3. And as you've seen, it's very interesting, it's very nice. If you are not watching the series, watch it. Do not forget to like, comment, and share. I am Mushia. That will be all for today. Adios.